Hello friends, welcome back. On this video we are going to deal with Krita layers. Krita has different types of layers and all these layers have different functionalities. On the right side there is the layers panel, and Krita creates for you two layers on default, that is background layer and paint layer. These layers are created for you once you open this workspace. To add a layer there is a drop down just beside the plus sign, and once you click on it you'll be able to see different layers that you can use on Krita. First, I want us to talk about these two layers that Krita creates for you on default. That is the background layer and the paint layer. The paint layer is transparent and we cannot see it. Even if I switch it off, you will not be able to see any difference. But once I switch off the background layer, you'll be able to see we are left with transparent space. That means the white background we could see earlier was because of the background layer, which is opaque. I'll go ahead and delete the paint layer, but I'll add it afterwards. I just want us to create a vector layer before the paint layer. So allow me to delete that, and then go ahead and click on the drop down beside the plus sign and choose a vector layer. So to add a vector layer, I'll just click on add vector layer. Now I have a vector layer above the background layer, and this is the layer that allows me to draw vector designs. If you don't know how to do vector designs on Krita, I made the video for that. You can go back and check it out. So I'll just draw simple structures like a rectangle, and I'll also use the Bezier tool to do something more complex. These are the two diagrams that I want us to use on this video. Now these are on the vector layer, and once I switch off the background layer, you'll be able to see they are left on a transparent space. So let me switch it back. Now we have the vector layer and the background layer. Let's go ahead and add another layer, and this time we are going to add the crown layer. What the crown layer does, it clones all these diagrams the way they are. For example, if I switch off the vector layer, I will still have the diagrams on it, but if I cross the crown layer, I'll have nothing. What does that mean? It means the crown layer cloned the vector layer, and now I have a layer above the vector layer with these diagrams which were cloned by the crown layer. So if you have some structures and you don't want to redraw them or copy and paste or duplicate, you can just create a crown layer and you have your diagrams or your structures or your designs are cloned automatically by the crown layer. So now I'm not going to use the crown layer, so I'm just going to delete it and go ahead and try to work on another layer, and this time let's use the paint layer. Once I add the paint layer, this layer now allows us to paint using different brushes. So I'll just go ahead and grab a brush. The brush panel is just below the layer panel. So I'll just use the brush, and this time I'm going to go with airbrush soft. I have the airbrush soft with me, and I can choose the color up here, and the foreground color I'm going to use is yellow. Then I'll click OK once I'm satisfied with the color I want, and now then I can increase the size of the brush. Yeah, but for me this brush is okay, so I'll just make it a little smaller, and then I have to choose a dynamic brush on the left side, and now I can paint here like that. So what the paint layer does, it helps us paint the diagrams or our structures or our designs. So I can just paint this slowly. You can paint with me for practice. This just for this tutorial. If you want perfection, you have to be more stable, and this how you draw animes. You just, or wallpapers, you just paint on them. That is in case if you don't want to use the fill colors. Because for instance, if you did want to use the same color on the same design, you wanted to use different colors, I can just paint this with another color here. Let me choose red this time. And so I paint this part with red, and maybe I want something another color for the top part, so I'll just go ahead and pick another color on the foreground color, and maybe green in this case. So now I'll go ahead and paint this place green, or I can even paint green on top like that. So if you don't want to use the same colors, or you want to be more flexible with colors, use the paint brushes on the paint layer, and that will work perfectly for you. That is it about the paint layer. So I'll just go ahead and delete it, because I don't need it. And so I'll go ahead and add another layer, and this time we are going to use the group layer. What a group layer does, it groups all your items, and if you want to manipulate them, you can only manipulate them together. So once you add a paint and group layer, all these items are grouped, and now you can work on them as one design. So if you change the color of one, all of them will change the color. That is it about the group layer. So let's try to look another layer. Okay, like the fill layer. The fill layer adds a fill color. So it's a layer with one color which can act as a background or a top layer. For instance, if I choose a pink color for this layer, you can choose the color you want and click OK. So to change the color, you can either go with the gradient, multi-gradient pattern, screen tone, sex experience, and simplex noise. But for me, I just go with a fill color for this tutorial, but you can do anything you want with this. But for us, let's just use the fill color for simplicity, then click on OK. The reason why we cannot see the diagrams below this layer is because this is opaque, and I can only reduce its opacity for me to see those. Or so if I reduce the opacity, you can see these diagrams seem like they are more color gradient, and they can be more visible and they look more better. But I don't want this to be on top. So if I turn back the opacity to 100 and then arrange layers, to arrange layers, you just click on them and drag, click, hold, and drag. So let me see, I want this just below the vector layer, and now you can see these are on top. Even if I reduce the opacity, you'll not be able to see any difference on the items. They will look are more strong because they are above the fill layer. So the fill layer adds a fill color to the workspace, and now you can use it as a background, or you can use it as an overlay. Okay, so the other layer, I'll just go ahead and do away with the fill. No, let me just keep it. So now that's it about layers. Those are the most paramount layers that you will be required to use. I will not talk about the filter layer because at this moment you cannot use a filter layer on this video. Or if I add a filter layer, it doesn't have any effect unless you are working on more complex designs. The filter layer helps you to add filters to diagrams. For instance, I will just use some filters on this or on the sorry on the fill layer. So maybe I just want to add some color balance, so like that, and then I click OK, and you can see the color is a little more balanced. That's the work of the filter layer. It adds filters on your diagrams. So that is it about layers, but I want to talk about how to arrange layers. Just like I said, you just click on the layer, drag, and position it where you want it to be. There is the you can increase or reduce the layer opacity according to how you want it to be. You just select the layer and move around this place until you get the desired effect. You can change the mode of the layer to what you want. You can either use burn, color, dodge, darken, divide, erase, luminosity, multiply, normal, overlay. All these is your choices. So you just do whatever you want with this layer. So as you can see, once I choose a different mode, something changes. So some effects are changed by how you choose your layer to function. It can either be a normal layer, it's a normal layer, and that's what I drew. But if I change the mode, you'll be able to see like overlay changes that to green because it to black because the diagrams now observe the the fill color, and now they are like more dark. Okay, so also you can use the drop. You can also copy or duplicate the layer by the duplicate layer mask. So you just click on it, and like that you have a copy of the layer. To move the layers, you can just click here. You select, then you click, and now you can move up and down. To delete the layer, there is the dustbin button. You just click on it, and the layer disappears. So that is it about layers. See you in the next video where we will be dealing with brushes. Thank you for watching, and please remember to subscribe.